Well, hello. We made it? Question mark. We made it through January 2025, and what a month it was. So crazy. But in this video, I get to share with you now all of the things that I colored in the month of January. Let's go. So the way I'm going to do this video is I have all of my regular adult coloring pages that I completed first, and then I will share with you all of the color by number that I did last, and then I will come back at the end and do just a little bit of chat. I figure I'll save that for the end so that we can really just dive right into what you're here for. So welcome in. I am Amy. The first part of the month, I revisited this book that I have had for a really long time. The Peanuts coloring book from Posh. And I finished a page for the new year. And it was this one here. It was a Happy New Year themed page. And I had forgotten just how tiny and detailed this book really is. Hadn't colored in it in a really long time. This is one of the few books that I've picked up within the past year that I've had since before I got back into coloring at the beginning of 2024. So let's just really quick talk about what I did here. So I used water-based because this is, I used both. These pages are double-sided, but I decided to sacrifice the page. I did protect this one because I really like this one of the Halloween, but I was like, okay with sacrificing this page. So I did use, it looks like I did use some alcohol marker and a limited color palette that I believe I just made up. I don't think I followed anything specific. So I definitely used marker, and I think I used both water-based and alcohol marker for some of these details that I really just wanted to pop. The background, I decided to go with just a light colored pencil. It is a pink Prismacolor. The characters for the Peanuts group are done in both marker and colored pencil. So hopefully you can see that. And then the silver metallic is a gel pen that I want to say is definitely Sparkle Pop. I also used some of the pink. I think it's also Sparkle Pop. It's either Sparkle Pop or Jelly Roll. I did do a little bit of highlighting with a Posca pen and a little bit of shading elsewhere with colored pencil. In hindsight, I mean, I love the page and I love the colors, but in hindsight, I'm like, I kind of wish I had just blackened out the background to really make everything pop in the foreground, like by using a black acrylic paint pen or something like that, but it's fine. Because I really wanted the characters to stand out, and the ball at Times Square and the stars and the confetti and everything, or the streamers, but I think it looked really good. So that is the first page, and I'm not really, other than this one, I'm not really going to go in the order that I colored them in, just colored by number at the end, but this is from the Peanuts book. Okay. All right, I revisited Serendipity from R.J. Hampson in the month of January. I love this book so much. I love coloring R.J. Hampson's illustrations. I only own this book so far. I want to keep coloring in it before I move on to and get something else for my collection. But in January, I did, stuck. This lovely page here, Winter Joy. Felt it was pretty appropriate for January. And I used, these are single-sided, so I definitely use alcohol marker in here. This is Ohuhu Honolulu series alcohol markers. And then I did shading with Prismacolor. And maybe if you can see, there's sparkle on here too on the snowflakes. It is Wink of Stella on top of the alcohol marker. And I have like a clear Wink of Stella. Let me pull those out for those of you. I've had these for a really long time. I'm not sure that they're so much of a thing anymore, but I have this one. It's like clear. And these are brush tip. You have to be very careful with them now because it can shoot out like a big glob, and it happened on this page, but I saved it. So you have to be very careful with these. And this one's black. So I did not use the black one, but just showing you what I have for Wink of Stella. So yeah, so I used another just like restricted color palette, and this one, I made this color palette up. I knew that I wanted to do these colors, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Because I switched over to a bigger book, I think I have to zoom, wrong way, Amy. Zoom out just a little bit. My cat, I don't know if you heard him in the background. We just ate dinner, and there is a slab of pork tenderloin sitting on the counter, and he was up there like threatening to eat it. He didn't. Looks like he left it, but he's been fed. They've been fed, but they want something more yummy than what they have right now. All right. I'm very excited to share with you that I completed my very first page ever in an Erie book. This is Romantic Country, the first in the series. There are 3, and this was a buddy color with Kristen from Instagram. I will share with you her page. She did a fantastic job. I love the colors that she chose for the house with that purpley tone, and the background just looks fantastic. So thank you so much for buddying with me. And I think that's not the first time that we buddied together, but I was very excited to get into this one. I was intimidated. Only purchased it last year. It's new to me still, but I'm really happy that here's my page, and I really like how it turned out. And the whole process of coloring in this book, I just loved. I love the feel. I used watercolor and Prismacolor pencil. Primarily, I can tell you what else I used, but it just went down on the paper. The paper is just really nice. And these are double-sided. Nothing came through. I did a pretty good job of protecting it, but I'll just really quickly kind of go over what I have here. So I did use, and I don't know if I said this correctly in the past, but I have a set of Artistro watercolor, and I use that to base the sky. I didn't 100% like how it turned out, so I went back over it with colored pencil, and that's what makes it look a lot better blended. But it was pretty good. I also used watercolor for the snow, and it was one of these like iridescent colors. I don't know how well that's gonna come up. But it's like a pearlescent, and it makes it a little crinkly, but it's okay because I like that texture. But I used that for the snow, and then went just lightly around the edges, and then like in the footprints, I went over it with colored pencil, like a light blue Prismacolor pencil. So that's the watercolor. I think the house was the other thing that was watercolor, but they were, I have a small set of Derwent watercolor pencils, not the Inktense. Getting ready to invest in those soon, I think. Now that I've proven that I've just been coloring a lot and I keep coloring, and it's a fantastic hobby for me. So I think I'll do that. But these are regular watercolor. Derwent. Well, now the cat is in my chair, so I can't sit down while I'm talking. Okay, now I'm sitting down. So that was watercolor. Everything else is Prismacolor, with the exception of some of the black, or maybe all the black. All the black that appears on this page is the Jelly Roll Glaze. And these I can't find anywhere in the store, so I purchased them on Amazon. But they are really cool because they give you this glossy finish to it. You can see that for sure. I just saw it. There you go. Look at that. That was really cool. So, and I spy a little bit of metallic gel pen here. And on the hinges. So a little bit of gel pen. But yeah, this was so fun. I loved it. I can't wait to keep coloring in here. I'm really looking forward to it. So that was my first ever page in the Erie book. Okay, and something else that was extremely exciting for me in the month of January was coloring my first page in Mythographic Artist Vault. This is only available in the US at Walmart, unfortunately, which is just crazy town. I know a lot of friendly folks in the community have been offering, and I'll offer it too because I think my Walmart still has at least one copy. But if you're not in the US and you would like this, you're interested, feel free to reach out to me. We can figure out how to exchange information, and I would be happy to do that. Mythographic. So I actually only own one Mythographic book, and it is aside from this one. And because I got back into coloring more heavily last year and figuring out what else was out there that I didn't know I was missing out on, I have Crystal Kingdom by Veronica Kolinska. And then I purchased my first Mythogoria book. So this made perfect sense for me. I mean, aside from the fact that it's just a gorgeous book, it has the sprayed purple edges. It just made so much sense because it features some of the artists who were originally a part of the Mythographic series, and I don't have any of the older books. I don't know if anyone has figured out exactly what new pages are in here versus ones from other books, but I know a lot of these are in other books because I've kind of figured that out from watching the flip-throughs. But this features Fabiana Attanasio, Joseph Kattenbang, and Alexander Fusey. This was also a buddy color with Tiffany from Facebook. We are both in the Color With Us Facebook group, which is hosted by Amanda Colors, and Meg from Meg's Coloring Corner, the former Disney Meg. And we did this one from Alexander Fusey, and this one is in Dream Weaver. I remember seeing it and I went back just to reconfirm that this one is in that book. Now, I'm not entirely excited about how this turned out. I think it looks okay. I'm okay and I'm content. I'm excited to have done one in here. I'm just not exactly sure ultimately where I landed with the color choices. So this was a color palette that I found on Pinterest, and I will pop that up here if I can find, if I can go back and find it. I'll capture and put it up on the screen. But I knew I wanted to do these colors. I think the biggest problem that I have with it is that I wanted the unicorn to kind of be popping more from the rest of the page. So there's not enough contrast. And I decided later into it that I was doing the acrylic black paint pen in the background, and that does help. That helps it pop a little bit. But I started with this yellow, and it was highlighter yellow, and I don't know that I was expecting that per se. And I was like, oh my gosh. But I just went and rolled with it. So I based a lot of this page in Ohuhu alcohol marker. You can see there. This paper, I don't know if I'm going to continue to do this in the Mythographic books with alcohol marker, because I feel like it soaks it up. It drinks it up. It's very thirsty paper. And this, it actually looks okay, because paper with sprayed edges kind of has this effect. You see where it's like an uneven effect, where it's just not uniform, because it was a cheaper alcohol marker. This deep purple was not Ohuhu. Everything else I think was, but this wasn't. And I was like, well, now we know, like, those markers worked really well on the Amazon paper, but not on this. Nope. So I figured that out for the first time. I used a little bit of gel pen. I did use some of that Artistro watercolor with the pearlescent on top of the ink right here. Definitely some gel pen, a little bit of gel pen, especially on the, oh my gosh, the writing pen, the quill. And then I used Prismacolor color pencil, because that's what I have. I know I'm going to end up sounding pretty repetitive with that, but the unicorn has some highlighting with a Ohuhu paint pen that is like that highlighter yellow. Let me tell you real quick something else that happened with this page. So one day when I was waiting for something to dry, it might have been gel pen or something like that. I color sometimes here where I'm filming in the dining room that has a window facing, obviously, the sun. I left it open like this on the table for probably 3 or 4 days. And when I came back to it, the sun, and you guys probably already know this and you're like, duh, the sun had bleached the color a little bit. This purple was actually a lot darker, and I hadn't finished the page at that point, so there was some, the stuff that I had covered with colored pencil was fine, was protected, but the yellow was almost like so light that you couldn't tell that I colored it yellow. So I had to redo that. I redid the yellow, and it kind of worked out. I was not happy with how dark the purple, I didn't do this on purpose. I was not happy with how dark the purple was, so it kind of took care of itself in a way that I had left it out in the sun and it bleached it a little bit. So I'm not saying that I recommend that as a technique, but I will give you a word of caution. If you're coloring and you leave a book out, or you're in an area where there is a lot of exposure to UV and sunlight, like, 'cause I'm not sure how well those the window panes protect from UV coverage, but there is this possibility that your pages could be bleached from the sun. So just something to think about. I kind of know that. I have a lot of things that sit in my craft room that over time are, I don't know, is that the right word? Bleach from the sun? Yeah. They are lightened from the exposure to the sunlight. So I just thought that was interesting and I wanted to share it. So I'm sorry that chatted a little bit longer on this one, but I was really so excited to color in here. Hey, so this is Tiffany's picture in Artist Vault, and I really like her colors. I mentioned to her that I think it's cool that she matched the ink from the spilled ink bottle to the unicorn mane. It makes a lot of sense, and it's something that I thought about after I colored mine. That looks really good on her page, and I also love the orange. Orange is one of my favorite colors too, and I like that she did orange flowers. So I think hers turned out really nice. We both kind of struggled with all the detail. There's a lot going on this page, like I said, but I think that they turned out really well, and was really excited to have another buddy color already complete. So I've done 2 buddy colors for the month of January, and I'm typically not even someone who does a lot of buddy colors, but I really enjoy them. It helps to motivate me, and I enjoy coloring with someone else. And I love this book. It's gorgeous. I definitely recommend it for any of you, especially if you're just starting out with Mythographic and maybe you don't have all his books, because I'm not going to go back and buy, I'm not likely going to go back and buy every single book. I mean, there's so many, and I'm definitely interested in a lot of the newer ones, but this was like a perfect way for me to get some of the ones that had come out previously. So it's Mythographic Artist Vault. Okay, and I think this is the last like coloring book that is not color by number, because basically after I did these pages, I was well into busier part of the month. I was super stressed out, had a lot of stuff going on personally, and so I went on a blitz of color by number for the rest of January, and it's February might be very similar, so I'm just saying. But I got this one. I have a flip through featured on my channel if you're interested. This is my quiet time coloring book from Colored Caramel. Came out in December, so it's relatively new, and it's just really cute to me. I really like the aesthetic of it, and I did 2 things in here. One is this, like the cover title page. And I just used a Hoo-Hoo alcohol marker and a white Posca pen. And I tried to emulate the colors from the cover for this one. Let me put my little stamp here with my name on it. Oh, and there's, stickles. Stickle glitter, because I thought that would be cute to add a little bit of sparkle. I love glitter. So I really like how that turned out. It was easy. And then I really had a hard time figuring out which pages I want to do in here. So I'm just going to go in order. At least that's what I've figured out so far. So I did the next page, which is, this is a bedroom. It's another cozy space. And this is actually the color scheme of our bedroom. We have black and red and white and gray. We don't have any houseplants like this though in our bedroom, but I just love the colors. They're my favorite colors. They were also our colors for our wedding, my husband and I, when we got married. These were the colors. So I did all alcohol marker, very simple, no shading, a little bit of highlight, and then these are stamp markers. Dual tip stamp markers that I got from Hobby Lobby. Oh, no, not Hobby Lobby. I'm so sorry. Five Below. These are $5. I do shop at Hobby Lobby too, but I know that's not for everybody, and I completely understand that. It's just I don't really have a whole lot of close store options. I do buy a lot from Amazon, but anyway, I'm rambling again, so I'm sorry. This has different designs. There are actually 2 of them that have hearts. One is red and one is pink. So I used that, and then, you know, these things don't work that well. So where it didn't completely like get the heart, I just went in, filled it in with the other side of the marker, because so I didn't have to worry about matching up the color, because it's not this one. They're dual tipped, so the other one is just like a fine tip. Sorry. So I just filled it in. So I'm trying to be helpful and explain a little bit, not just show you the pages. The color by number is going to go a little bit quicker. So anyway, yeah, that was my quiet time from Colored Caramel. I really love this book. All right, and so if you are interested in color by number, the rest of the pages that I did for the month, which represent really kind of the second half of January, are all color by number. I hate that the way I have my setup here, I have to pretty much stand to continue to see if I'm in frame or if I need to zoom in or out. And I just hate that because I need to sit down. It's painful. Okay, this is the smallest book I have and I need to zoom out. So definitely going to be doing that. So, okay, Cupcake Sweet Treats Color by Number by Sachin Sachdeva. This is the pocket-sized book that I'm so in love with. And he has a couple of these. He had a new one that just came out. I completed two in January. So I did this one, and it is all alcohol marker and Posca for highlighting. There is no shading. I don't think on any of the color by number that I did this month, I didn't do any shading. It's very much a mental health break for me, or go-to for when I'm really feeling like I just need to, I don't know, I need an outlet for stress and anxiety. So I go hard at, for me personally, I turn to color by number for that. So I didn't like the color of the light pink, so I went back over that with a acrylic paint pen. I got a better result there, and that's because you can definitely do that with acrylic paint pens if you aren't liking what you got. So, and then the second one I did was the last day of January, and this is like kind of like the Valentine's page-ish. This one is all water-based marker, and I think it's primarily Ohuhu dual tip brush and fine tipped water-based marker. Yep. So I love coloring in these. They're soothing. This is soothing to me. All right. Next color by number book that I've been working in. I have done a lot in this book. I want to finish both this book and the Cupcake Sweet Treats. This is 100 Best Adult Color by Numbers from Sunlife Publishing, and there is a variety in here of different books. And I bought this early last year because I knew I was interested in color by number, but I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted. So this has been awesome because it really kind of is helping me. It came out in 2022, Sunlife Drawing. It's really kind of helped me establish what I want to get, because there's 2 pages from each of the books that are featured in here. So you can see I did 4. Looks like I did 4 in January. Let's see if I can get the first one here. It's this page. And I chose this one and the next one because it didn't have very many colors, and I was super stressed out at this point. I can't go into a lot of detail, but I just had a lot going on. 2 major things for me, and one ended successfully, favorably in what I was working on to achieve, and then the other did not. So yeah, but anyway, it involved a lot of time and effort and study and preparation, and I was pretty stressed out. So it's definitely doing color by number. So this one here, I think everything in here in this book, I used the Ohuhu water-based. I know for that one, this one I did. So I did this one. And I wasn't sure because it doesn't say anywhere in here in this book what the dot means. So I just left it white because I'm like, maybe that just means it's white. And it wasn't on the key on the back. So, yeah, that's my best guess. And then did this one again, very simple, doesn't have many colors. It's Flower Animals Color by Number. And then the last, that was on the 28th. Then this was also on the 28th. It is a stained glass flowers. I think it's meant to be horizontal here. And I used, yep, the water-based, because I'm starting to also use the Crayola Super Tips. And now that I say that, I think that's what I used in here. Not that it really matters. I like both, but I'm definitely getting into the Crayola Super Tips. I like, they keep the firmness of the point on that marker. It's a little bit better. The Ohuhu, I love them and they're great, but the brush tip, like as it's starting to run out of ink, you really kind of have to smush it and it loses its shape. And it's kind of fraying, if that makes sense. So I don't like that. I think you can replace them, but anyhow, that's 4 pages that I finished in 100 Best Adult Color by Number. I am very excited to share that I finished a long-standing whip from this Art Therapy Hatchet Hero Color by Number, Disney Color by Number. This is the Cats and Felines book. It's actually my daughter's book, but she was letting me color one in here, and I started it in July of last year, and that's her page, my page, and it's Simba, young Simba, slimy yet satisfying. I love how this turned out. I love it. So I started it last year. I'd actually done like probably well over half. When I got back into it though, so because the background is a lot of color, I didn't want to use up a paint pen for that. So I just used like regular acrylic paint, like you would get from Americana or Folk Art or whatever. When I did it, I forgot that I didn't see that there were a couple other, there was a number here for the clouds. There's a couple clouds. There's like 3 or 4 clouds in the background, and I just completely disregarded that, but it's okay. I still, I was like, I could still paint in the clouds if I wanted to, but I like it the way that it is. And these turn out so good with acrylic paint pen or paint marker or whatever. They're beautiful. And I have Toolie Art, a lot of Toolie Art, and then I also have the Ohuhu set of 40 acrylic paint pens. Come in here. So there's that one, and I wanted to finish this because I want to get back into coloring these things. Love them, and I did start one, so now I've got another whip. It's in the Vitro, the stained glass one. So I'm ready to get back into these books. All right, and then last for the month, I purchased Pokemon Color by Number squares from Etsy last year. And it came with like maybe 9 or 10 different images. They're like mystery images. You can see the solutions when you buy them, the digital, if you go to the last page. I try to like forget and mix them up and not so I don't exactly know, take some of the surprise out of it. But I hadn't colored in them, even though I bought them last year. And I did 2 this month. I did Bulbasaur. So fun, so cute. Now, this for sure, these were Super Tips, Crayola Super Tips, for sure. And I really like them, especially with these little squares. So this is a lot of fun. I will put a link up to the shop. This artist also does a couple other color by numbers like this. There's a set of Mario type things, like Super Mario. And I think there's like 2 or 3 different Pokemon sets that you can buy. I don't know which one this is. And she has a few other things up in the shop. But this is so fun. I love Pokemon. So I was excited to color this. And then my other ended up being Charmander. And he's like my favorite. He's the one that I started with as my buddy in Pokemon Go. We're big Pokemon Go players in this house too. But I really like this and how I like the colors and how it turned out. So this is a lot of fun. These were a lot of fun. Definitely recommend it. I printed this on regular copy paper because it works just fine. But you can print it on whatever you want when you're doing a digital image. So that's all of my coloring for January. Thanks for sticking with me through the end of this video. If you did, give me a coffee emoji. Thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, check out the rest of my channel. Like and subscribe. Leave me some comments about what you're coloring. I'm so excited right now. Everyone is posting their January completed pages. They are videos that I have come to really also appreciate and enjoy watching what everybody else has done. A lot of times that really gets me interested in other books that I maybe don't have or didn't know existed. They also help me kind of figure out a little bit more about techniques that I'd like to use, or maybe just to help with highlighting or shading. So yeah, I mean, I like watching all kinds of coloring videos, but completed pages I'm definitely excited for at this point. So I think I was going to chat more here at the end, but I think I just ended up doing it while I was showing you stuff. So, but thanks for joining me. I have some loose plans for what I want to color in February. I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to do a plans video or anything like that. I'm going to continue to color a lot of color by number. This kind of happened to me last year too, if I remember correctly. The first part of my year I did a lot of color by number, and then I kind of backed out a little bit. But like I said, it does really help manage stress and anxiety for me, and I just really enjoy it. It's super helpful when you're not feeling very creative and you want the colors to just be, you know, kind of selected for you pretty much. There's not a lot, I will say, like, there's not a lot if you just go to the store and look for coloring books anymore. There's not a whole lot to choose from to begin with, but there's, especially to me, not a lot of color by number. Like, pretty much have to look online. That's why I appreciate the coloring community so much, because you guys are out there getting some of these books that I didn't know existed, and it really introduced me to a lot of artists that I have come to love in the past year. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching the video. I hope that you all have a fantastic February, good week, and an excellent month of coloring. Bye.